let's talk about upsets. Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje. Great fight. There hasn't been nothing going on. So I smelt a rat somewhere along the line, but I didn't see that coming at all. I like to congratulate Justin Gaethje. I like to congratulate Ferguson for the fucking streak that he put together. I was like a 12 or 13 fight streak, but, like I always say, man, it's like comedy. Things change. You can't settle too much in your success. You got to take it. It's for today, and tomorrow's another day. That's a problem we have. We think that this shit, it's like I was watching this movie the other day. It's with Ben Stiller and the guy who OD'd on heroin. And,
Along Came Paulie.
Along Came Paulie, and he's a guy that's did something 10 years ago, but he's still walking around. What's the guy?
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
He's walking around. It's like me if all I did was talk about Spider-Man 2. It's like watching The Fighter, and the guy's brother fought Sugar Ray Leonard, and in one of the ring rounds he slipped, and he said he knocked him down. So his claim to fame was, I knocked down Sugar Ray Leonard when I fought him in 1973. That's great. But in 2020, what have you done lately, you fuck? And this is why I believe that we do shit on a fucking daily, and the UFC is something like comedy. It's just moving fast. Now, comedy's stuck. We're all down to zero, Whether it's Dave Chappelle or Lee, we're both down to zero. Nobody's doing any fucking comedy. Nobody's doing shit. We're just trying to get back. We're just trying to get over this thing. And, but it's so weird how, what were we talking about? I don't even fucking know.
About the fights last night.
The fights, how, for years we've been trying to set up Tony and Khabib. Now it's not a fight no more. Now it's Khabib against Tony and Khabib against fucking Gaethje and Tony against McGregor. I mean, that's all you see now. Now McGregor wants to box. He wants to box Cesar Chavez. The guy hasn't fucking thrown a boxing pound in 10 years. This is what kills me. Now we got good fights. The next card in July could be great, or whatever, the fucking Island or whatever. I mean, hey, these fights this week are no fucking... Wednesday night's fight's going to be great with Tosera against Anthony, and then Saturday with Overeem against... And that's Harris. My heart goes out to him and his family. He's the one whose daughter got abducted and killed. But anyway, I'm not the UFC guy. I just want to speak about how fast life moves. And when everybody's looking at one thing, all of a sudden something happens unexpectedly. You don't control anything. You control yourself and where and what you want to do. And we saw that Saturday night with Gaethje. That for me is an inspirational fight because he called it, and then they gave him 18 days more to study the kid. And I mean, I watched. I know him. I love Tony Ferguson. I'm a huge fan of Tony Ferguson. He didn't even let Tony Ferguson get a fucking submission. It was like Tony Ferguson, his jiu-jitsu wasn't even in the game. So it's pretty interesting when you look at life and that nobody has nothing down. You have dick. You don't know nothing. You're as good as you are right now, today. Tomorrow, I don't know dick about. Yeah, well, McGregor's going to fight this guy. Yeah, that don't matter. Did you see that beating that Gaethje put on fucking whatever last night? Think about that, and then we'll decide what's going to happen. And then we'll see if he's going to fight Cesar Gomez or whoever, the guy with the pantyhose on, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Obviously, hindsight's 20/20, but since we're talking how we don't know how life's going to go, I feel like the reason I felt bad for Tony is that was like the second, at least, interim title fight, like change, and to me, I don't even do fighters stand to gain anything from doing, like, should he have not taken that fight and be like, I'm gonna wait for Khabib?
Listen, it's like life. It's like life. You make your decisions. Some people want to fight. Some people want to make the move. Again, hindsight is 20/20. Hindsight is, I should have done this. I should have done that. I shouldn't have done the half-hour Netflix. I should have waited for an hour Netflix. Who would have known? You're in the moment.
Right.
You're a fighter. I'm not here. I'm not cut out to sit here and wait. You know, I was never a waiter to sit there with my thing and make believe I'm thinking.
Right.
I was always a doer. You got to go do something. Every day you got to do something. You got to do something. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. You got to do something. So, you know, this is just great. We've watched Gaethje come up. We've all sat there and watched Gaethje come up, and he raised his hand. And if you're going to raise your hand, raise your fucking hand.
Well, he had something interesting that he said in his interview with Rogan. He said something to the effect of, like, I had to lose to fix it. Like, there was nothing.
Listen, you're going to have to bomb 80 times to become a great comic. And the same thing happens in fighting. Right now, there's a fighter named Kevin Lee. He's a black kid. He's lost his last 3 fights, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a fight. But I know by looking at Kevin Lee and his determination and how hard he works, one day you put everything together, it's all going to fall together. That's why I keep telling people all the time, keep showing up to the mat. Because no matter what happens, if you keep showing up, you're bound to get better at that thing. Doesn't matter when you do comedy or if you're a contractor, well, they're looking for experience. You start off as a fucking hod carrier, or you picking up papers and trash. And then one day a guy says, hey, come here, pick up a piece of wood, help me cut it, measure it, boom, bop. And then the next thing, the guy's telling you to help him put it up on the fucking wall. And next thing you know, the guy's telling you, hey, what are you doing Saturday? You want to do a side job with me? And now you went from being a helper, from being a fucking laborer, to being a carpenter helper. And you're laying wood now. Now you're cutting measurements. Now he calls you at night and he'll go, hey, tomorrow I'm going to be there at 9. But have 15 4x8 half-inch boards cut to 4x6 so we could do this. And now you take more responsibility upon yourself and you find yourself. And then one day he tells you to do something and you cut an angle off. You didn't measure it and you did it wrong. Guess what? It's going to cost you money. Now you have to do the job over again. And even though you're a good carpenter, you got to do the job over again. You're going to feel like shit, but you're going to learn something from that. So our setbacks are always positives if you do the positive thing from the setback. I don't mind a good setback from time to time. Right now, how many people are getting set back by this situation? This is a horrible situation, this virus. People are getting set back, but you're not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I could sit here and cry every episode that I'm losing money by not going on the road. Or I could sit here and tell you how happy I am that I haven't caught the coronavirus and I haven't put my family through all that and I haven't been in a hospital bed for 8 fucking weeks and, you know, I had tubes down my throat. So in life, there's always something that you have to find, especially on a motherfucking Monday. Mondays are not for everybody. People don't like Mondays. For me, I come out of bed Monday with 2 knives and a knife in my hand and a razor blade in my toe. I'm ready to stab you somewhere because that's who I am on a Monday. I know that Monday sets the pace for the rest of the fucking week. But back to Justin Gaethje and life, and, you know, for months we've been looking at this fight, and look what we seen last night. Look what we saw last night, you know. I bet there's a bunch of 155ers doing push-ups today. You know, Dustin Poirier's, that's a good fight now. That changes the division around. Meanwhile, McGregor wants to fight some guy who wears pantyhose 20 years ago. You know, this is what I'm saying. So, anyway, you put it was a great weekend. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you guys are getting your lives back to normality little by little. You know, this doesn't mean you're going to a fucking violin show tonight or a fucking 12-man, whatever. I'm not seeing, I don't want to see the apostles, okay? If anybody comes to you and says, hey, we're going to a party, as soon as I count 12 apostles, that's when I don't go. Please, just because the ban has been halfway lifted, I care about you. Still wash your hands. Still don't touch your face. And still fucking put the mask on. And if you feel that you've been around somebody or whatever, put a mask on. I don't have a mask on today because it's Lee with social distancing. The door's open. And it's a beautiful motherfucking day to be alive.